So we're just going to talk about what the dinner shift looks like. So at 6 o'clock is when dinner shift starts. So you've already signed in. You've come down here to the gathering place now, and dinner happens around the table. And we want to make sure that food is ready to be served by around 6:30.
Yep. Yeah, we want dinner to be ready by 6:30. It's buffet style, so there's the table along the wall where everything gets set up. The silverware's out, the plates and napkins are kept in the kitchen and be put out, and it's really about gathering together, having a meal, both volunteers and guests.
The cooking should be done at home and the meal brought in already cooked, ready to serve.
That's right.
Right.
And it's really important because we don't have any place here in the shelter to cook food. So it's important it's prepared off-site.
And the TV is to be off until after dinner so that we can focus on.
Yeah, the idea being that we really gathered around this table and the table next to us, that it is a community, that it's not just isolated.
Yeah. Yeah, last year we didn't have that, and we really lacked
Yeah.
because of it.
Yeah.
So, and we want to be intentional this year about just asking a blessing before the meal. And so, whomever is comfortable doing that, it can be a guest or a volunteer or the manager, but just asking a blessing for the meal and then going through.
So when I make the meal at home, how do I know how many to prepare for?
So we have our volunteer coordinator, Lori, who works really hard to communicate with volunteers, let them know what the current census is at, so you have an idea how many to plan for. Now, it's not an exact science because we try to give a couple days lead time, and that can change in that time period, but usually not too much.
Okay.
So if you sign up for a shift and you're working with your coworkers on getting that meal prepared and everything, you already are on the same page. But if somebody signs up individually and then there's another individual that signs up, Lori does a good job of connecting those two people so that they can communicate together and they're not doubling the same work.
Great.
Another thing that is important is taking leftovers home afterwards. And it isn't because we don't want the food here, but we have limited refrigerator space, and so we have found in the past that when leftovers get left behind, the fridge gets so full, things don't get eaten, stuff spoils, and so it's just best, as a general rule, to go ahead and take stuff home with you at the end of the night.
So is there like a specific thing that people have to bring in, like a meal, or is that up to their discretion what they bring in to serve?
It's totally up to you, to the volunteers. We recommend things that are easy to cook for a big crowd, but, we've often said it can be anything from sloppy joes to prime rib, whatever it is volunteers want to do. And it's important to know that that is a full meal, so if you want to bring desserts, you can. If you want to bring in beverages, we have water, usually lemonade and tea and coffee around, but if you want to bring something specific in to drink, that's important. We have all the table service and serving spoons and everything right here on site, so you don't have to worry about bringing any of that.
So it's important to bring something that you would eat too, because you plan to stay and eat with the guests. So make something that you would like.
And that's a good point. So when we're talking about how many we're cooking for, it's not just the volunteers or just the guests. It's both the dinner volunteers you bring in with you and then also the evening volunteers who are here, which is usually three people or so. And so to be sure that there's plenty of food. And then, of course, everybody's welcome to seconds once everybody's eaten.
So then at the end of the dinner shift, the dinner crew is supposed to help make sure everything is cleaned up before they leave?
Yeah, at the end of the night, it's just what you would do at your own home. Make sure things are cleaned up and put away. And like Jake mentioned, be sure to take the leftovers home, just because we don't have the storage space to keep all that stuff long term. So you do it like you would at your own home. Clean up and make sure things are put away and in good shape for the rest of the evening.
And we estimate that most of that's going to be done by about 7:30 or so. So the shift is from 6 to 7:30. If it's 7:45 before everybody's cleaned up and you're ready to go, that's fine. It really is about the hospitality of gathering together around the table.
What about serving utensils? Are those here or should I bring my own?
We have all that here.
All of that is provided, yep.
Very good.
So that's kind of what the dinner shift looks like. Of course, if you have other questions and things that we missed or you didn't quite understand, be sure and reach out to us. But that's kind of what dinner shift looks like. And then you'll also be able to, if you need to clean anything, cleaning up after meals. Those supplies are above the sink there, probably where you would normally keep them in your own house. There'll be some more things below the sink, trash bags, all that kind of stuff is found pretty much where you would probably keep it in your own home. On the refrigerators are two pieces of instruction. The first one is please label and date all food. This is both for guests and anybody who brings food into the shelter for a meal, stuff that's left over. And then right next to that is do not throw away food in the refrigerator. We have someone that kind of handles that for us and kind of keeps track of how long things have been in there, which is why it's really important to label and date all the food that is in there, both for guests and for volunteers as they bring things in. Also on the side of the refrigerator is a whiteboard that just has supplies needed. So if there are things that food-wise that we run out of that we need to replace, like things for the continental breakfast or freezer breakfast foods, simply write those on there. We have someone that will go and pick those up. And then also right below that is a check the supply closet under the stairs for more supplies. Jenny referred to this, and this is where any paper products, cups, napkins, all that kind of stuff, as well as toilet paper and other necessary supplies are kept in the closet underneath the stairs. And the key for that is going to be on the key ring that you should either have or someone working with you has each time that you're here.